But blacks are also victims of brutal crimes. 2 white farmers tried to seal this 20-year-old into a coffin. The farmers were convicted of attempted murder last year.
Crime happens to everyone. It's criminality that is happening in the farms, and we have always condemned it. But this crime does not only happen to white farmers, it also happens to black farm workers.
Welcome guys, welcome again to another episode of the WSXM podcast, where a united Africa is an undisputed Africa, which is a fact. So, I did a video around a day or two ago about the propaganda that's been spreading and that there is a genocide happening in South Africa when it comes down to white South African farmers. And in that video, I cleared that up and showed that it was all false, because there was turned out numbers like over 400 white farmers are dying annually, which in my video I show that it's much more less than that. It takes around 6 to 10 years to get that number, and in 1 year, most of the time it's like maybe like 9, maybe 15 at most will pass. And it's not only white farmers, that also include farm workers, which are all black, and also include black farmers as well. So technically, a white farmer that dies in South Africa per year is roughly around maybe like 9, 10 at most, because they are including, as I said earlier, the workers in that number. So that which is not. And anyway, watch the entire video. I'll put the link in the description of this video so you can get understand what I'm talking about. But this video is about, now we see white farmers hire Israeli soldiers to train them how to take lives and so-called defend themselves against a non-existent threat. And ironically, South Africa take Israel to the International Criminal Court, won the case. And Israelis now, South Africa is now backing Palestinians, which is what they were doing since day one. But so it's so funny that you have Israeli soldiers now training these white farmers, or these, I would say, they don't like my color people, and they have Israeli training these people who take lives. So take a look at this video and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I don't just want to just show any accusations. Watch this video and let me know what you think about it. Boom.
A 2-week tactical survival course run by a former member of the Israeli Special Forces. Idan Abolnik is teaching this group how to ward off or neutralize the enemy, a self-described practical guide to staying alive.
They're here because they want to make a difference. They want to defend their life, to feel more secure for the family and for them.
And his pupils claim plenty of real-world experience.
I've been attacked myself, and these attackers were trained very well. So and I got shot in my face, and you can see the marks there. And I got stabbed 9 times by a knife, but I survived it.
It's personal accounts like these that fuel the sense of fear.
Fight!
And people like Marley Swanepoel think they're being targeted because they're white.
Good.
It's pretty intense, isn't it?
This is not intense. What's happening in our country.
Everyone hear me, come here.
And I get very emotional about it.
Come here, guys.
What is happening in South Africa?
Our people are getting murdered, tortured.
Where's everyone?
Our old people who can't defend themselves are being burned with cooking oil. The number's just rising. By the day it's rising, but you are always worried that you will be the next.
And usually they don't steal anything, so there's something, we don't know what it is, but they are just getting murdered, and then they leave.
Let me just pause the video right there. I want to make a point before I finish the video. You see that lady crying, oh, what is happening in our country? Number one, you're not an African. You are a European that lives in Africa. So you cannot class yourself as you cannot class South Africa as your country. And the crocodile tears does not fool anyone. When women don't have any facts or evidence, they always resort to crying to garner sympathy. And the other gentleman who's saying he got in his face shot and stabbed 9 times, there's no proof of this. He could be just saying those words because did you report it? Was it investigated? You need proof to say before you can even say something like that. Anyway, so let me just say this. A black person that goes in to any European country, you could be living there for 50 years. You cannot class yourself as a European because they will never accept a black person as a European in Europe. Okay, how long you live there, even if you're born there, they still don't see you as a European. So how is it a white person can move to South Africa and class himself as an African? You're not. Even if you're born there, and you're not. You're born there, but you're not from there. You have your heritage, your bloodline is European. So don't class this as your country. So anyway, just want to put in that two little cents before I finish the video because I don't want to forget it. So let's finish the video and then I'll discuss it after. Boom.
But blacks are also victims of brutal crimes. 2 white farmers tried to seal this 20-year-old into a coffin. The farmers were convicted of attempted murder last year.
Crime happens to everyone. It's criminality that is happening in the farms, and we have always condemned it. But this crime does not only happen to white farmers, it also happened to black farm workers.
The case lit a fuse and drew large protests at court. White farmers own vast tracts of land in South Africa and receive little sympathy.
The white people's quality of life in this country is at its highest. They live a first world lifestyle in a third world country, and the majority of the population lives a third world lifestyle in a third world country. So, and that majority is the blacks.
So the ruling ANC is taking drastic action. They've adopted a new policy called land expropriation without compensation. A decision that deeply worries people like Philip Potgieter. He's a 4th-generation farmer in the hills of Limpopo.
It's worrying because promises are being made to the masses, and you don't want to make promises to the masses and not deliver. So currently it's a boiling pot. We grew year by year.
Mr. Potgieter took us for a tour of his avocado and nut farm. It's a profitable business, employing hundreds of local people, and he's not prepared to hand it over.
It's in our blood, our ancestors, our fathers, grandfathers. This is what we were born to do. I mean, where do I go? I can't just pack up here and leave everything we've done here.
This farm is already subject to 4 claims filed by community groups who say the land originally belonged to them. And the official overseeing the process says Mr. Potgieter will have to come to the table.
What do you say to a guy who owns land that's been in the family for 4 or 5 generations?
There's nothing we can do, but we can put you through the process together with the community until we find a way out of this, because it needs to happen.
So yes, so that's the end of the video. So you see, at the second part of the video, you saw the 20-year-old black South African was put in a coffin. That is torture actually, and they was arrested, court case, they was convicted, and which was a good thing. So if it was the other way around, don't you think the said thing would apply, where if black people was doing these things to white farmers as they claim to be happening, they're being stabbed, they're being shot, they're being tortured, don't you think police will get involved and then they'll get locked up? So where's a court case to prove that these things are actually happening? To show you the propaganda that's being spreading. And why? Because Julius Malema rise and about Africa for Africans and we want Makawa land, that is what is scaring them, not being attacked. They are afraid of losing their wealth, their lands, not their lands. They're afraid of losing their stolen property and their witches. That's what they are afraid of. So, I said to say this. In the video, they also said that the ANC government took back some land, but there is actually documents proving that yes, they did confiscate some land. Now we're close enough, but when they did that, they asked the people who lived there, the white habitants, bring your deed to get fair compensation for the land they took because they was running some road. They had to make a road through some land and they took the land and then pay the people for it. None of them came and showed their deed or to get compensated for this property. So you cannot come now claim that your lands have been taken away when you don't have a deed to prove it's yours in the first place. To show you that this is all propaganda orchestrated by these said apartheid group people who stole property. And what they are accusing us of, like the coffin and this gentleman in it and they charging him, that's what they did to us for decades. No one bat an eye about it. There was no one crying on TV like how she's doing and having training camps and using arms and getting trained by actually the enemy of South Africa, which is Israel. So you're bringing in an Israeli, which you know is not, and South Africa don't say eye to eye, and to train you to do what? To attack South Africans. So how is it you so love your country, but you're bringing in the enemy to fight your own country, men? To show that these people don't care about that, they just care about their money, their land. And without land, they lose their leverage. Because as the gentleman said in the video, they are living in a third world country, living a first world lifestyle, which means they are living fat off the hog. So they can get to eat whatever they want, drink whatever they want, buy whatever they want. While Black South Africans who actually own the property, own the lands, are suffering drastically. Not on a small level, drastically. And some of these communities that live in a first world life, their current don't get cut. But everyone else current get rationed while the rich and landowners keep all the amenities that are awarded in our time. So this is mind-boggling, and this is another proof that they cannot trust some of these, not all of them, they cannot trust some of these former apartheid people who live in that time or who had parents living that time and they grew up with that mentality that we are less than, we are treated as, we are not humans in their eyes, we are animals and they are the superior race. And they still have this mentality, not because apartheid ended in 1994, that doesn't mean their mentality changed. No, it never changes, it's steadily. Actually, I would argue, it's more divided now than it was even during apartheid time. That's how much it has grown instead of gotten less, before it gotten less. So, that's my point. Anyway, let me know what you think about this, if you agree with my analysis or not. Leave a comment in the comment section. As always, you know, tell a friend, like, comment, share, subscribe. That helps the channel to grow and expand. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment. Click that like button. Boom. You don't know.